Well, we're seeing we've got the third game, and this is Elodia's chance to take the win here. But again, Yates gets as the loser. Yates gets to choose what the map's going to be. I mean, what do you think his choice is going to be? What do you think he should pick to beat Elodia?
Well, judging from what he's saying, I think he's going to go for another really big map. So it could be actually quite nice. I think he should do him with a lot of metal and a big map and see how that goes for him.
What about you, Matez? What do you think? What do you think Yates' next move should be?
I don't know. I think this time he will counter or should know how to counter such rush strategy. So maybe he might pick something similar because I think he feels quite confident on small maps. I'm not sure, but I felt like it would be. So maybe he would do. But I have no idea, honestly.
The map is Trident Lakes, so I'm pretty sure that's not a small map.
So completely wrong.
Yeah, 850 I think is the map we use. I think, is that the one with lava, ice and all that jazz that's everywhere?
I think that is the one that's Team Genesis map, and I think that's
it's
very heavy on
absolutely giant one, isn't it?
Heavy on the metal. Really heavy on the metal, this one. So I think I think we will see some. Yeah, I think it's going again, as you say, for the macro strategies here. I think we're going to see a lot of economy play. Yates is definitely going to just try and outlast him. That's going to be the approach here, I think. But in that case, I think we will get this game underway, and we'll start into Game 3 of King of the Planet 12. Thank you, cheers, thank you, Klops. We'll talk to you again later.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are now moving into Game 3 of King of the Planet 12 between Yates and King Elodia, who has thus far taken the first two games, giving him a 2-0 lead. This is a best of 5, so he needs to take this game for the win. We'll play all 5 games regardless, but this is the one for the title. So, game 1, we saw Yates try a large map macro play. Elodia managed to counter him with a heavy turret play. Second map, he went for a nice small tight rush map, and Elodia just outrushed him there. So, third map, we have gone large and heavy metal. So, what do you think of this one, Marshall?
I was just about to do a guitar riff, considering you said heavy metal, but
excellent.
Unfortunately, I don't have a guitar to hand, nor do I have scones that I saw mentioned in the chat. But I think this map is really hard to call early on because there are so many places that players might decide to prioritise. Typically, I believe players will probably spawn around there on their poles. Because you can just expand to the Horseshoe Mountain range, and yeah, both of them have spawned there. So you can go into the water, you can go to the ice, you can go to the other side of the planet and go into the volcanoes. It's all up in the air until we see these early build orders, which is quite amazing.
Well, the viewers think that Elodia is going to take it with 2/3 of the vote count going to Elodia over Yates. There's still some Yates believers out there, though. And we see both players opening rather differently this time. We've got Elodia going for a vehicle build versus Yates is going for a docks build. Clearly he's going to try and virus himself all over the map, going bot to air, Elodia going vehicle.
I find vehicles on this map really quite odd. I don't think you have the mobility that you need to get as much metal early on. However, perhaps the thinking is that the opponent's going to be going full metal while he's just going to build up his forces and make a big push and catch him off guard while he's still expanding and not really producing too much. But I think Yates is going to be able to handle it with his docks production and metal expansions with that air factory that he's going to have up.
Yes, I have to say, rather surprised by the choice that Elodia made there to go to a dual vehicles. Especially as a proponent of the second air factory is a necessity, as he said recently. But we see him just queuing up more and more vehicle factories. And Yates, on the other hand, bot air, bot. Two very different approaches to this map, and I have to say I do favour the bot and air one. It's such a large map, there's so much metal on this in this centre lake section that I just really think that air and bots are the way to go here.
Yeah, air and bots. However, with the bots going everywhere on this map, they're not going to have great numbers until a fair way into the game, and I think that's perhaps what Eladea is relying on, not having the great numbers, so he can use the smaller groups of tanks to overwhelm them in their locations. But the Doc's now moving in on a few fabricators. Is he going to get away? It looks as though he is not. That was unfortunate, but he did manage to see those 2 fabricators there, and he might decide to push it against it. And Eladea, wow, even more vehicle factories, but he is factoring in spinners already, so he's doing that in lieu of any bomber harass that might come his way.
Absolutely. I think Eladea then looks like he's looking to make an aggressive centre push. I think we are almost be seeing a vehicle rush such as it is. It's going to just aggressively take that. The centre is just going to encroach on Yates' space before Yates can make that docks and wide planet advantage pay off. I haven't seen this before. It's going to be fascinating to see, and I do wonder if we're going to see this commander push forward more aggressively early on. And we see Eladea now making a push for air. Before any kind of heavy air presence had been established by Yates yet, so at the size of the plant, there's still plenty of opportunities for air fabbers to sneak out there for Eladea and give him that economic advantage.
Oh yeah, definitely. And given that the mechs are relatively far apart, I think docks and bombers are going to be quite effective at raiding compared to tanks. I think tanks are what Eladea is going to use as his sustained ground offensive to keep Yates on his toes and dealing with that, while his air is going to be his expansion harass modality.
Oh, we see Yates already anticipating Eladea trying to make a push for the centre. He's building up anti-air, building up turrets. He's staking his claim in that centre, and frankly, being the first person there, that might be all it needs. And Eladea already losing 2 air fabbers just to a hummingbird that flew on by. Very vulnerable air fabbers, very risky. You really do counter your opponent just stop finding them. But we do see Eladea slowly grinding forward with his tanks. I think he is just going to try and push down the centre, and he's sending all of his bots around the back to escort these fabbers. So looking quite vulnerable in his base right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's really not got the... This is what I was saying about the bots being everywhere, but not in one place. And it's going to show as Eladea is making that ground down the middle. Just saw your ping there for teleporters. I think that's going to be quite good, especially given the tanks there and the air fabricators being sent to do it, or they're retasked. Maybe they want to place it in a different location. Indeed, they did a little bit further back just to avoid radar.
I have to say, I love this plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but I love this plan. It's clear he's decided that he's going for the slow grind. He's sending his first tank force almost to draw out Yates and making him think that's where the attack's going to come from, while in the meantime he's building up this teleport around the back. But let's see if Yates can see that. He doesn't have radar vision. He's out of range. The radar recently got a range nerf. It's just outside, and clearly Eladea has a good idea of what that range is. He's managed to build it what I think must be just outside that circle. But to see Yates sitting with some docks around the back of Eladea's base, not moving in yet, just working to contain. Another dock's trying to take the crater location there, but Eladea secured it with a turret already. Meanwhile, Yates taking the centre island with his air force quite convincingly. Commander from Yates pushing out now to deny these tanks that are trying to take out his. Oh, and we see Eladea pushing through the teleporter now, pushing through. He's building up. Oh, he's going to build a proxy base back here. Looks like he's going to proxy himself up. He's going to just distract with this front tank force. Yeah, he's running over to defend against that. Meanwhile, Eladea moving his real force over that side. Let's see. It's now appeared on radar for Eladea. He knows it's there. He's coming around, but he's now getting flanked on both sides. Bold move by Eladea, and I have to say, I do love this. I do love this this approach. It's nice seeing teleporters in use. And we're seeing the docks now try and dodge the tanks, but the tanks have the numbers to take this. And again, we could be seeing another contained of Yates here. Yates again looking like he's really struggling to break out of his own base, despite the fact that he had the early air advantage. He's got some slow expansion going on with his air fabbers and his bot fabber, but yeah, it's crushed inside his own base, and these tanks just shutting him down. Eladea really outthinking Yates on this map, showing the kind of flexibility I think that's made him such a successful player in PA. But looking at this, I have to say I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Yates is going to do to come back from this. He's got his commander defending one side. He's trying to use air, but his air was set up to deny Eladea the air, not to counter ground forces. He went mass hummingbirds in the anticipation of the fact that Eladea would have a heavy air presence, which he hasn't done. And now there's a proxy. He's bringing up fabbers so he can build turrets. He's got his own spinners that are shooting the bombers as they come off the factories. Yeah, it's not looking good for Yates at all. He just can't leverage the. He's tried to go for the big economy, but Eladeo has still managed to expand out and take enough that he's actually got his own economic lead, just shutting down Yates. And Yates is now retreating from his main base, which on a map this large, losing it by the 8-minute mark, that is an impressive bit of play here by Eladeo. Really well done, driving Yates right out of his base. Clearly thinks he's got enough economy to stay in this game. But he's got no production, and I don't know where he's going to fall back to. I mean, you go back to the island, but how does he ever break off there again? The advantage on the ground now, quite substantial for Eladeo, twice the army count, 10 factories to nothing for Eladeo. I mean, goodness me, Yates did not see this teleporter move coming at all, and I have to admit, neither did I. Completely out of left field, beautiful play. And yeah, and I just have to see what Yates has got planned next. And I think what he's got planned is running the hell away. By the looks of it, running the hell away and assessing his options while his commander moves. But Eladeo is finding his stuff, he's shutting it down. Yates trying to secure these locations here. And unfortunately we've lost Marshall to some connectivity problems, so I'm going to bring Klops in here, who's also viewing the game at the moment. Klops, this is impressive play there by Eladeo, don't you think?
Ah. Yes.
Hello, Klops. Hello. Excellent.
How's it
Well prepared. As I was saying, we've unfortunately lost Marshall to some connectivity issues. So as I was saying, that was a rather impressive play by Eladeo there with the surprise teleporter attack. I wasn't quite sure what Eladeo was doing with his mass tank start, but it seems pretty clear now exactly what he intended to do.
Yeah, it was actually a really nice move.
Yeah,
analysis.
I do wonder if Eladeo knows the range of radar that well, because it seemed that he built the teleporter literally just outside the range of that radar, and I'm not sure if that was a fluke or if that was that he really knows it that well.
No, he can scout it and then pre-build. When you can build your own in the exact location, then you can see what the range is. So I think that's why he changed the teleport's he had initial teleporter within the range, and then he took it a little bit outside.
Do you think that there's a way back in for Yates at this point? I mean, he's still got a decent economy, but he's got no production, and the army advantage for Eladeo is substantial. Is there any way that Yates can make his way back into this game?
No, Eladia's doing the right thing now. He's going air. So once you have air, you can just close the whole game down. So you just slowly grind them down, and the game's over. Like.
It did seem that Yates anticipated Eladeo doing a very heavy air build. We saw that he had almost all hummingbirds, despite the fact that Eladeo actually had very little in the air.
Yeah.
If he'd gone for a much more bumblebee heavy build, do you think it would have had a different outcome, the attack on his base?
Yeah, it all comes down to scouting, though. It would definitely attacking his base. He could defend one off with the bombers and the other off with his commander, and then use the air advantage to, because Elodia didn't build many AA turrets around, so the game would have been totally different if he scouted and reacted to scouting better. If he realised that Elodia didn't go any air, then he could have changed it up.
Yes, I have to agree. Actually, it does seem that there was a lack of scouting. And considering actually the early air effect he had, I don't think he flew anything by Eladeo's base early on.
No, he seemed like he was just surrounding it.
Yeah, he was. He went. I think he just anticipated a similar game to the first one, where it was going to be docks everywhere, air everywhere.
Yeah. It was still a great build, and it was still actually fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's much we enjoy more than watching someone manage to backdoor you with a teleporter, especially on a single planet. It is absolutely beautiful to watch someone pull that off, especially at this level. All right, let's bring Eladeo in here then to talk about that. Eladeo, congratulations to another clean sheet king of the planet. Well done.
Yeah, I got lucky, I guess, that didn't prepare.
Well, I don't think
classic.
It wasn't
classic Elodia.
It wasn't a Hawkins or a Pelter snipe, but I have to say I think it's pretty damn close. A backdoor teleporter move that was really nice, really nice. I was a bit mystified as to what you were doing, going with that early heavy vehicles early on, no second air factory. I was like, what the hell is Eladeo doing? And then suddenly a teleporter goes up, and it's just like genius. There was no question there, it was just praise.
I kind of miscalculated my energy though, so it didn't get to stay up 100%, but yeah, I mean, I think I might actually use that build in maybe proper games.
Well, we saw you reposition the teleporter at one point. Did you know the range that Jaeger had on his radar?
No.
Oh, so you
Was
really
it
did.
in?
You really did just get lucky then. You built your teleporter literally just outside the range of his radar.
Oh,
He was responding to your tank attack. As you put the teleporter up, we checked, and yeah, he couldn't see your teleporter go up. He couldn't see until you poured troops out of it that you had anything over there. Otherwise, he had
lucky.
fighters nearby that could have come and shut you down.
yeah, that's the other thing. He had air control, but he didn't deny my air fabbers. So
I think
if you're watching this caller, then that's why I think. Anyway, I don't know.
Well, he got a couple of early when he swung by with a fighter. He managed to take out a couple early on then. But it seemed that I don't know if we missed it, but it seemed that he never really scouted you, which is why he was so completely unprepared for what you were doing. He from what it looked like, he made assumptions about how you were going to play, but never actually checked to see what you were doing in your base.
I'm pretty sure he knew I was going to go vehicles rush because he saw all of the tanks I was making. But I tried to keep my air factory hidden, like just build it at the last second and then commander assist the air fabbers out. So I was just being exposed to as little kind of time as possible.
Yeah, one of the questions we had, and one of the things we found surprising about Yates' play, was that he went so hummingbird heavy against an opponent who had no real air presence. Is that down to scouting, do you think? Is it just almost default instinct to get a lot of hummingbirds to make sure you hold the airspace? What do you think Yates was thinking there?
It's definitely default because the normal build is your bot air, and then what you do is you try and get map control with the docks, but then the docks are vulnerable to bombers, so you need the hummingbirds. That's usually how these kind of maps play. So I think Jaegs was. I think he just forgot to switch to bombers really once he saw the tanks.
Yeah, good as that. I've on more than one occasion been in a situation where I should have switched to bumblebees and just never made the switch because you're so used to pumping out hummingbirds at all times.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, in that case, congratulations on another clean sheet, holding on to your King of the Planet title. We're going to play through games 4 and 5, but obviously at this point it's just sort of for fun games. That you've already managed to claim that title, so congratulations again. Move you off into your room, and we'll see you in action again in a minute.
Right.
Let's bring Yags in. Yags, commiserations, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. He had a build, it worked out. I'm definitely out of practice.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly a rough one for you, I think. There, I mean, from a spectating point of view, it's beautiful to see a teleporter victory like that. I suspect being on the receiving end of it,
nice.
Probably not so fun.
I saw like tanks streaming there. I was just like, wait a second, how did he get there that quickly? What's going on over there?
Well, it did seem
teleporter.
He got rather lucky. He was just telling us that what looked like a rather canny placement just outside your radar range was in actual fact a complete and total fluke. And he had no idea you had radar there.
Yeah, no. I didn't have radar. I mean, in the radar range is so much less now. I'm not used to. Before
you did have a radar in the base. It was just his teleporter was just outside its range.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so like normally I'm used to kind of relying on radar for scouting, or at least, and then I have enough time to. But in this new meta, I think you need to rely more on units for scouting.
Oh, and as well, if we're going to see, because it's seen here, we're seeing a lot of turrets get placed down by mechs. I wonder if we're going to see more radars get placed down by mechs. Back when, because radars did get a range boost a very long time ago, and they're almost going back down to where they used to be. And I think at that point, people used to almost circle the bases with radars.
Yeah. So I mean, I just have to adjust my playstyle, and obviously, I haven't really made some mistakes I wouldn't have made had I been more well practiced. But he played well. I thought his build was very good. I can tell Evadea has a lot of skill in this game. This is innovation. I think I like a lot too.
Yeah, so I think we've seen him play each game he's won so far. I think he's played very differently in each game. The first one, a lot of static defenses. The second one, some very aggressive bot play, and the third one, mass vehicles, then through a teleporter for the back door. So a unique victory each time, but we do have game 4. And again, so do you think that perhaps you've got something that could take him this time? I mean, obviously, at this point, the King of the Planet title no longer within your grasp, but do you think you could reclaim your honour, or are you going to go the way to Battle Bear and fall to a 5-0 loss?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't really have anything up my sleeve. I haven't really prepared any specific builds or anything, so
It sounds
I
like
think it's going to be more of the same.
I think we need to break out the small violin for you at this point, by the sounds of it. I hear a broken man.
Yeah, I'm probably a little tilted now, anyways. And like after this, I'm probably not going to play PA anymore. Unfortunately,
Okay.
not because of this, but I had made that decision a long time ago. So that's kind of why I didn't want to do the King of the Planet in the first place. Because even if I had somehow beat Iladia, I wouldn't have wanted to play the next, challenger or whatever. So, anyways, I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep trying. I'll try to at least show a good game. This game was kind of lame. Last game was kind of lame. Sorry, guys.
I don't think anyone watching is going to complain about seeing someone win through a teleporter. I don't think an audience ever complains about that. Next year we take us as lame because he hit you with a pelter or something, and no one's going to complain about that either. Okay, well, we'll let you go across to set up game 4 then. You've still got some believers out there. You're still getting votes that you're going to win, so keep believing, Yates. You could still take one.
Zappies. Thanks, Zappies.
Cut him before he's finished talking. Let's just bring Baptiste in here before we get into the next game. So Baptiste, what did you think of that?
Yeah, that was really nice attack from Elodia. I think he might have predicted that Yates will go for such stuff, and it's actually it's something that I said about the second game, and it's something that Yates could do back then. I mean, this time obviously without teleporter, but I think Elodia skipped any doxes, right? So at he had a lot of tanks early on, and he could do a very strong attack. And yeah, I don't think one dox factory is too good. I think it's better to make a lot of doxes or just pure tanks maybe, and such pure tank attack is very, very strong, and as we could see right in this game. And the teleporter, obviously very nice idea to keep the reinforcements coming very shortly, very fast, and this way he neglected the advantage that EX had in harassment. He didn't really. He had just 2 locations to defend, and in both of those locations he had a lot of army, both in his base and in during the attack. So he had so the harassment was completely nullified, and then he just rolled him with a superior army. So
yeah, I think we've seen now in each game that Eladair has been coming out with something quite different. The first game they played very similar, and the Eggs just slowly lost to Eladair there, perhaps being a little less practiced than Eladair. But since then they've been playing rather differently, and Eladair has been, I think I said earlier, has been innovating nicely each game. Do you think that Yates can pull it out, or is Eladair just going to outthink him in each of these games?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily so much of outthinking. Maybe it is, but I think it's mostly about practice. It really, you can really see that that Elodia has much more practice, and you need practice for this game to be on reasonable level. So I think Elodia might if there will be more maps, then EX might not know what to play on them, and then it might be just even 5-0 stomp. I don't know.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Battle Bear suffered at the hands of Elodia in the last King of the Planets, losing 5-0.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it looks like Yiggs might well go the same way.